Mary, try and sort this one out. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Instrumental break. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. 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 Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. I think that one will do.
That'll do just fine. Thank you, Lee. Wonderful. All right. Well, good morning. Hi, Lisa. Happy to see you, Arcus. Lee the man is here. Let me get a little. Somebody wants to come say hello. And then I need to get over onto YouTube and click on live chat. All right. Let's see. The other thing, I still got to do something. I got to get back into it and go over so I can monetize this silly thing right away while I'm thinking about it. Doobie-doo. Oh, playlist. That ain't it. It ain't playlist. Why do I do that? What is it? It's content. Content. Live. Other fish in the morning. Monetization on. Next. And it's going to do limited. You watch. Does it every time. Submit. 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Good. We're there. Not able to save your video. What does that mean? Limited. There it is. Did it. Honest to God. Request review. I guess I can't do it while it's live. I guess. Whatever. Not stuff. Second one time permitting, Arcus. Where are we at here? What's going on? Aquarium Cop. We are the show. Yes, we are. Happy to see you, Aquarium Cop. Kenny. Ed and James, they are not here. They are not here. I tried calling them this morning and then at answering, they're still in bed in Tennessee, I think. I don't know where they are. They haven't called in. So maybe they'll pop in here. I don't know. I don't know where they are. All right. Still in ya. I got a problem with your name tag. And I got a problem with it. You're gonna have to explain yourself. Lee, how are you doing this morning? I haven't talked to you in a week. I think it's been ages. Tommy Denda asking how the weather is in Great Britain. Gray day. Lisa's not ready. It's sunny, bright, warm, hot. A pretty day here. A little hot. Oh, let's see. J Dog. Good morning, J Dog. Nice to see you. Again, we just talked 10 minutes ago. Ro, hi, Ro. Good morning. Rachy Rach. Chubbs. Good morning, Chubbs. GRB. Thirsty Rabbit. Fish Pappy. Rohan. Doesn't StreamYard work on the phone? I think it does. Ooh. Abolished Farms. That's a funny name. Explain your name, Abolished Farms. GRB, Pepling Creek. Good morning, Pepling Creek. All right. Hail, hail, the gangs are here. Oh, let's see. The Massey Report I read. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, anybody in the storm track? It is a beast laying waste to, I guess, western Louisiana. I watched some video this morning, but it was from last night. I couldn't find anything real current about the storm. Stephen, good morning, Stephen. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Let's see if I can move things around a little bit. Get it a little tighter here. That's a little better. Fill up more of the screen. Abolish Farms. I teach regenerative farming in the cannabis community and a few other things. You really caught my attention with your deep bed tanks. Wonderful. That's exciting. Regenerative farming. What is regenerative farming? Is that like cycling? Explain regenerative farming, Abolished Farms. Oh, mercy. I didn't see Chevy. Is Chevy here? Hey, Chevy, good morning. Are you lurking? Chevy lurks. No-till organics. Oh, okay. Got it. I understand. Ooh, that's kind of, yeah, you're right, exactly. That's exactly what the deep sand bed is. It's no, it's no-till organics. I guess I should call it that, shouldn't I? That's interesting. No-till organics. Thanks for all the love, my fellow fish nerds. You got it. Baroness Chevy. There she is. Shh. She says Chevy lurks. Oh, and Kenny G and James and Chattanooga Ed were up last night streaming, and I think they were talking. I was talking to them last night. I went to bed so I could get up this morning. I was up at 5 o'clock, all excited about them coming. I've been calling since 7. They're not answering. I think they're still in bed, which puts them 8 hours away. It's an 8-hour drive from Tennessee to Venice, Florida. Fish Room Fever, there he is. They're rolling through Georgia. So they're about 4 to 5 hours, about 5 hours out, probably. It is 8. They should get here early afternoon. Well, that's good timing. That'll be great. We've already got a collecting trip lined up for you. That's a local one, and we can do a long distance one. There is an issue, James, and you left before 5. So you've been on the road 3 hours. Yeah, you'll get here early afternoon, maybe a little better. In order to collect, you need a Florida fishing license. Now, I think you can get like a 3-day license, but I don't know how much it costs. There is one spot we can collect locally where we're not likely to have any trouble. It's not a fishing hole. It's not a place people normally go to. While it's on a main drag, it's not something that a fisheries officer is likely to pull over and check. Hi, Chattanooga Ed. Welcome. We're all excited about you guys getting here. A polished farm sunk to the bottom, been a week in sand. Just now put it in soil. Oh, here we go. Old seeds not popping. You can try soaking in Q-Mix. Rohan's talking about seeds not germinating. So Abolish Farm's giving him a heads up in soaking and then putting them in water. Is that right? Hello, buds. Interesting. Oh, you're going to get licenses. Okay. They voted. All right. Well, you can get that when you get here. There's a tackle store right nearby we can go to first. Not a problem. Oh, I see. Been a week in sand, put it in soil. And using aloe, presumably to soften it so that so it can germinate, so the little germ bud can pop through the hard shell. Very cool. Mary Page, good morning, all. Gonna listen in. Had a hard time sleeping. You guys are always good for my soul. Happy to see you, Mary Page, and praying for you, and know everything is going to be just fine. Rach has a question. If we use mud and a sand cap for a planted, well-balanced aquarium, what do you do if you have sand sifters like Tapajos? Do you do just a 3-inch sand bed and no mud? The sand sifters or earth eaters do not dig deep into the sand. They'll go down half an inch, 1 inch absolute tops. So they're really not going to disturb the deep layer. If you've got 2 inches of sand, you can add a little more if they're big guys, but you're going to be safe. It will not be a problem. You can still put them. The Geophagus will do fine in a dirted tank with a 2 to 3 inch sand cap. Won't be a problem at all. And that goes for most of the other rooters as opposed to the earth movers. The earth movers are the Central American cichlids that are steam shovels that actually will move a ton of substrate and pile it up in a corner. Those you can't do dirted tanks with. That's impossible. Things like Oscars, some of the other big cichlids, there are a lot of them. There's a whole big family of them. And they're wonderful fish. They're big fish. They are earth movers. Earth movers are different from diggers, different from burrowers. Earth movers are like big steam shovels, and they'll move all the way down to bedrock, move all of the dirt out. And that's, in many cases, that's what they're doing. They're looking for bedrock. They're looking to get down to a flat, hard place where they can lay their eggs and have a big concave hollow for the babies to be in while they're going from zygote to swimmer. So it's a way also for them to control and maintain their young fry. Leah's saying, Lady Mary. Oh, Mary's asking Lee to make her a fish lullaby. Oh, Lee, you know you could do it. You know you could. And you know you want to. And you know you need to. And you know how much it'll be appreciated. So he's going to do it, Mary. He absolutely will. Absolutely will. You've thrown down the challenge. I love the feeding video. Actually, it worked out really well, Lee. It was perfect. It was very impressive. Mary Page, Chevy Fish. I need to find the links to copy. Haven't figured out where to find them. Yeah, the video of them eating. Who was it? Homer, not Homer. What was his name? I was a little surprised you didn't pull a piece of a mountain and share. Holly Gibbs. Hi, Holly. Leah, hand-fed Kermit bloodworms this morning. The others were having nothing to do with me. That's fun. Lisa, just rolling with the punches. Yeah, I know. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And as soon as it's one thing and you get over it, it is another. One thing following on top of another. Yeah, Lee's saying just keep it up, Holly. When they figure out what's going on, they'll be there. Yeah, absolutely. That is cool. And what you were not able to do was get the crowd around you. That would have been fun to see. You have to get them trained to do that and then do another one. That would be great fun. Hoo-ha. Well, we're doing the early birds. Ah, oh God. I came on at 8 because I got here at 6. I can't even believe I did that. Got here at 6 o'clock this morning. Because I didn't know what time these guys were coming in. They're saying last night, why don't we just get on the road now? Well, they wised up a little from that and got a little sleep. By the way, I ordered cups yesterday. They're not going to look like this. This is a sticker on a cup. It'll look nicer than that. It's a full picture that kind of wraps around. I think it'll be pretty. It's a blue interior, and I think it's white, a white cup. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm getting 10 of them in. They have been shipped. They are on their way. Probably next week we'll get them. So we will have cups next week. Mary Page has a grandson winning froggies. Lee, that's what we'll be getting. They'll be okay with white skirts. I will put frogs on my get-kills. I can do frogs. I can get them and I can sell them and I can probably give you a good price on them. Chevy, Mary Page, go out of chat and press Fatherfish icon. Go to his About page and it's listed. Click on it and it goes to the page. Click on 3 dots in upper right of screen, click share, then click save and go. Glad you typed all that out because I wouldn't want to have to remember it. Nice job, Chevy. Thank you. Father Fish, do you use an alarm? You know, I don't know what kind of alarm you're talking about. I had some timers, mostly for lights. I have a few other things on timers. I bought an alarm system and never installed it. Years ago, I bought it. Actually, there was a period of time when I left ministry, when I got into and started an electronic security system. So I learned how to do alarms. Did not enjoy it at all. Found that people were mostly crazy. And it was making me crazy doing it. The money was great, but the toll on my spirit was dreadful. So I got out of that anyway. I bought this thing and never hooked it up. So what kind of alarm are you talking about? My beard's being weird today. That's a little better. It's got a hole in it. I don't know why it does. Makes me nuts. I'm OE8, whatever it is. There. Is that better? Still has a hole in it. Can't get rid of it. Nuts. Holly Gibbs. Oh, my grandson, Phoenix, decided yesterday to take 2 of my favorite mystery snails out of one of the tanks and put them in the puffer tank because they didn't have any in there. Grandma did not end well, I dare say. Well, it ended very well for the puffer, I'm sure. How old is Phoenix? Kids do strange things with fish tanks. And the littler they are, the stranger the stuff they do. So how old is Phoenix? An alarm to wake me up. Oh, no, I don't. I usually get up at 7 o'clock, just kind of automatically. It doesn't matter what time I go to bed. I'm typically up once during the night, and then I'll get up at 7. When I get up, which is usually around 3 o'clock, if I can't get back to sleep and sit up then for an hour or two, I might sleep in until 8. But I'm never in bed later 8 o'clock, and typically it's 7. Lee is doing something bizarre and saying it's not his fault. I dare say. 16 likes. We need to hit a like. Let me get over here and hit the like button. Where is it? Whoops. Ro, good morning. Good to see you. 2223. There we go. We're getting up in the world. Peplin Creek. Good morning. These are all folks that have been here a while. We're all saying good morning. Again, Rohan, Father Fish. Are gas pockets, hydrogen sulfide, more prevalent in undisturbed shallow substrate opposed to deep substrate? Lord only knows. Are they more shallow in one more prevalent in one than another? Don't know. I can't even think why they would. But my predilection would be that they're more prevalent in deep substrate because there's more chemistry going on. But I don't know that that's really true. Masonry sand for fish tanks. I think it's great. It's the difference between masonry sand and silica sand is that silica sand is a crystalline structure, whereas masonry sand is clay, which is a very particulate structure, very tiny particulate structure that is baked into a composite material, making it absorbative. How's that, guys? For 8 o'clock in the morning. Not bad, huh? So, you pays your money, you takes your chances. The probably the absorbent material, I've never used it, but I like the concept. It certainly would harbor bacteria and presumably would harbor more bacteria than silica. One of the things I learned about silica years ago is that a 1-inch ball of silica sand and a 1-inch plastic ball, like a bio ball, the sand has 1,000 times more surface space than the bio ball. And that's profound because surface space is what bacteria live on. So more bacteria are able to live in an inch of sand than in a 1 inch bioball. And when you think about it, it only makes sense because much of the bioball is solid, uh, inaccessible, solid, non-surface interior. The now here we go. So the porous pottery sand or pottery crushed pottery, because it is an absorb because it has holes in it like diatomaceous earth. Not quite like, but that's the idea. Is going to house more bacteria than the same volume of sand, I think. I don't know. Try it and see. It should work. I like it. It makes sense to me. Well, Mary Page, for some of us, that's the only way we have to get anywhere at all. Just live with it. That's what I do. When I've got to go across the room to pick something up off the floor, first thing I have to do is find my cane, and then I have to decide whether I can actually bend over without falling or go down on one knee. And going down on one knee ain't no picnic. Going down, look at that. Going, going down on one knee is every bit the struggle. It almost is easier to go down on two knees. Then you got to figure out how you're going to get back up. And that's even harder because I need a 3 to 4 point structure in order to do that. So, yeah, I get it. Cheap and widely available at your local hardware store. Really, I need to look into that. Right, Mary Page. Masonry Sand will be okay for cap. I've always used it. I like it, tissue. I've never used it. I need to look into it and get it. I've been looking for other kinds of sand, and you may well be onto something here. It just makes really good sense to me. One of the benefits of clay is that it contains it is a very dense source of minerals and a very high source of minerals. The difficulty with it is that it is sufficiently dense that roots have a hard time getting through it, and they typically don't. They typically just kind of live on the surface of it. So if you mix it with sand or with some kind of loam like peat moss, it opens it up and makes it more accessible to plant roots. In the case of masonry, sand, it would be baked clay, which would have air baked, I guess, would have air baked into it. Yeah, because the moisture is driven out, and that's going to leave air pockets. So it's highly absorptive, which is going to make it uniquely effective in as a cap to a substrate. I like it a lot. I need to follow up on that. Masonry sand. Now, I assume by masonry sand, oh, now, wait a minute. Masonry sand is something else again. I'm thinking about clay pot, crushed clay pots. Masonry sand, I know what that is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've used masonry sand. I have some here. I like it. It's got more dust in it. It is a finer sand than, say, pool filtered sand. Boy, there was a whole 15 minutes there about absolutely nothing on topic. Sort of created a new topic out of a conversation without even beginning to answer the point. Tisha, sorry, let me back up. Masonry sand is a finer sand than swimming pool filter sand. I've used it. I like it. I don't think it makes a bit of difference, frankly. The only issue is it has more dust in it. So if you're going to be pouring it through the water, you ought to rinse it first to rinse the dust out. Otherwise, it's going to turn your tank cloudy, and it can be bad enough to create a problem for fish because the fine dust is going to be so thick, or can be so thick, that it will block up the pores in the fish's gills. I've actually had it happen. So for masonry sand, if you're setting up the tank dry, put the mud in, put the sand in, add water, just don't stir it up and you'll be in good shape. You do not need to rinse it. In fact, it's desirable if you don't. All of that dust is very beneficial in the substrate. If you're pouring it into water, it's critical to rinse it first. Put it in a bucket, stick a hose in it, swirl it around, pour off the cloudy water. Do that 2 or 3 times, and then you can pour it right in the tank, and it'll be fine. Now, having gone through all that, I want to return to the item I was talking about before that I was referring to as masonry sand, and it's not masonry sand, it is pottery sand. And I don't know that such a thing really even exists other than as crushed pottery. And why would you do that? But crushed pottery, it seems to me, would be a fabulous substrate. So there, we've dealt with 2 items at once, sort of. Oh well. Sand to sand, Arcus says. Yeah, that's right, Arcus. Sand to sand. True enough. True enough. Cheap and widely available. It is cheap. You're absolutely right. I sell it here at the shop. I don't sell much of it because I just don't. Because most people who buy it are not using it to set up a new tank. They're putting it in an established tank, and it's a little more effort because you have to watch it. But yeah, it's a good product. I've used both as well. I put um, the coarser sand and then capped the coarser sand with the finer sand, and I kind of like the look of that. It's a smoother surface, and it just kind of looks nicer. Tommy Denda's referring to moon sand, top fin black sand from Petco. I like the black sand too. Um, the other thing I like as a cap on the cap is the washed pea gravel. I think that looks nice too. If money were not an issue, what would be the best sand in the world for aquariums? Wow. Gold. Gold sand. Gold sand would be perfect. It's totally inert. And you can make it as fine as you like. Gold sand. Funny, funny, funny. I'm going to leave it there. Ask a silly question, get a silly answer. Misfit. Hi there, Misfit. Good to see you. Tommy saying moon sand. That's good. That's probably more valuable than gold. You're probably right, Tommy. Now it is. In 20 years, we'll be glutted with it. We'll be able to use it in fish tanks with their moonfish. High Rise apparently is here. And then Mary Page is saying, Rohan, that would be great. I could gather sand out of the creek. Now, what are we referring to? River sand. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Rohan. River sand is the best sand there is. And if you dig down a little deeper and get down into the substrate, you can put the whole thing in the tank without even having to dirt it. Although if you start dirting it and then put that wet sand from the creek on top of it, you're going to have a very, very rich substrate. Mary Page said gold would be dazzle. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? A gold substrate would be dazzle an aquarium. We'll have to talk to some of the guys up in Alaska, see if we can get them to set up a gold substrate aquarium. Maybe something small. Rohan is saying to Chubbs he's been using river sand for 7 months. The quarries filter it through their gills. Yeah, they wash it actually in their mouths in order to get worms and other little algae and stuff out of it. And they kind of tumble it together so they're able to, in effect, scrape stuff off of it. So they're torpedo sand Chevy's talking about. Coarser with various sizes and good drainage. She cleans it. Don't know what torpedo sand is. Explain what torpedo sand is, Chevy. Ooh, fish tongues. Do fish have tongues? Yes, they do. Fish do have tongues. Absolutely. And they use them. They're rigid, though. They're not flexible. Now, an animal like an elephant nose has a flexible proboscis. But it's really, I guess it is a nose, actually, because I think it does actually sort of inhale. Although the function of a fish's nose, I don't think is to inhale. It doesn't breathe in through its nose. It samples water quality and actually smells the particulate matter that's in the water so it can find food and or whatever. Bloody interesting. I would assume that the fish's tongue serves the same function. I've seen fish take things in their mouth, roll them around a bit and spit them out, particularly inert things that look like food, and things they don't like. Mary Page says, yes, caught a 10-pound bass mounted on my wall. I caught when I was 6. Always looked at its mouth and thought it was funny it had a tongue. Rohan, my 3-foot tank with additional light has caused increased amount of bubbles emerging from the substrate. It's now 25-watt LED over the 3-footer. It's probably doing that on the surface. It could be creating oxygen from the algae living on the surface of the sand. I don't know that that the light would permeate very deeply into the substrate, so it's not likely that light's going to do anything much below a 1/4 inch or so. If you look at the side of your tank, at the substrate, even if it's all the same, you'll see the top 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch will be lighter color than what's below it, signifying the light shining down through it. At least that's what Father Fish thinks. Oh, Mary Page is saying Chevy fish. Where do you find that? She's talking about torpedo sand. Yeah, me too. Okay. The substrate is alive, Rohan says. Yes, indeed it is. I did a video about that. Lucas challenged me to do a video on life in the deep substrate. And I did that, and I think that's what it's called. Maybe somebody could find that video. It's what's living in your deep substrate or some such thing. It was about 6 months ago. I think around the first of the year or so when it did that. And I did it demonstrating my 200-gallon discus tank that has about a 6 to 8 inch substrate in it. That was an interesting little thing, and we talked about just that. We talked about the fact that there is life from the top of the surface to the bottom. The substrate is indeed alive. Cassie B. fed her Cory cat's bloodworms first time. They took a while to find it. Well, they have to smell it, I guess. Mary Page is saying, Lee, you've seen Billy the Bass, right? In my dream last night, here we go. Here's Nicholas. In my Nicholas Grawl. Hi, Nicholas. In my dream last night, Dory from Finding Nemo was talking to me in my freshwater tank. Yeah, I think Lee's fish talked to him. Right. You know what bothers me about Nemo? See if you can guess what bothers me about Nemo. And I'm going to give you a hint. If a 3-year-old watches Nemo and feels sorry for Nemo because Nemo is trapped in a fish tank, what does the 3-year-old do to free Nemo? This is dreadful. Dreadful, I say. Disney has done an utterly dreadful thing with this little action in the movie. What is it? What is it? Cassie B saying, Mary, it was right there, right there. Look, 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 it's right there. You dumb fish, you can't see it. No, they smell it. And a Cory cat can only smell what it is physically touching. Its barbels go down in the sand. It roots in the sand. Whatever its barbels touch, it snags, grabs with its mouth. So, yeah, it can't smell anything that it's not touching and really isn't looking peripherally. It's looking right there in front of itself. So, pretty strange little animal. So, Dory, Chevy Fish says it is found at garden centers. And I have to look. Steven says it depends on the species. They all have an organ, but it differs between them. Mary Page is lagging. Excuse me. A mix of sand and gravel used for setting pavers. Lee says if fish had a flexible tongue, they could probably talk. Yeah, but it would be a glugging kind of talk. It would be like talking in a glass of water. Funny stuff, you guys. Stephen, give us an example of a fish that does not have a visible tongue. Catfish? Trying to remember. Catfish. Maybe it's very small, but I can't remember seeing a tongue in a catfish. Excuse me. Let's see. Chevy Fish said it requires a lot of cleaning. Same thing, if you put it in on top of the soil before you add water, and then add water carefully so you don't stir it up, you're okay. Otherwise, anything you're pouring into the water needs to be rinsed. Mary Page says, Lee, I saw Randy sticking his tongue out at you in one of your videos. I saw that too. You saw that, Mary? I thought I only saw that. I didn't think anybody else saw that. That was amazing. Gave him a raspberry too. It was like one of those like that. Never saw a fish do that before. Strange stuff. I rise. If someone was buying fish for the first time, what would be your first piece of advice? And what fish would you recommend they start with? Funny thing you should ask this question, High Rise. The very most recent video I made is specifically aimed at the first time fish buyer. And it gives recommendations based on having absolutely zero knowledge about fish. Don't know its name, don't know what it eats, don't know its behavior, don't even know if it can get along with other fish. Check out the video. It is the answer to your question. It's a fairly long, about 20-minute long video specifically focused on how a brand new person looking at fish for the first time can guess right in putting fish together. Thank you for that. Very much High Rise. Blake, hello, hello, hello. Good to see you, Blake. What do we have here? A little bit of madness. We're just talking craziness here, Blake. That's it. Holly got it. Holly got it. She flushed the fish down the toilet when the little girl tried to save Nemo. She flushed it down the toilet. And what did the movie show? What did the movie show? It showed Nemo going through the pipes, going through small pipes, bigger pipes, big pipe, and coming out where? In the ocean. In the ocean. Walt Disney lies. Lies. Only in the foulest, most backward, most irresponsible, environmentally immoral municipality would such a condition exist. So, I really think they need to correct that. I really do. I think that is a faux pas so big and so profound as to utterly require the movie be banned from 3-year-olders watching it. I wonder, in fact, how many Nemos have been consigned to a death in a septic system or a municipal waterworks because a 3-year-old tried to free it, a la Disney. Ha! And again, I say, ha! So there, you guys. Nicholas takes it one step further, or maybe 10 steps further, saying Disney is damaging our children. Well, I'll tell you, Nicholas, look at some of the current fare that's coming out, and there can be no question but that is fundamentally true. Fundamentally. All pipes lead to something. What was that? All pipes lead to the sea, Cassie says. All pipes lead to the sea. The big lie. Oh, let's see. Mary Page figured it out. All right. After extensive counseling by Chevy Fish, Mary Page figured out how to do a link. By golly, she did it. What about having that combo of fish and that 20 long? Blake says. Okay, I don't know what you're referring to. Your 20 long, my 20 long, or somebody else's 20 long? I don't think I have a 20 long set up, do I? I don't think I do. I've got some 15s. Oh, I do. Of course I do. I've got 20 long set up on the top rack in my pyramid. They're all 20 longs. And yeah, I've got quite a mix of fish in a few of them. Mostly it's Tanganyikas, but I've also got some Florida natives in there as well. The idea with the video and selecting fish was to look at the fish, to really observe them, and to try to get a feeling for how they're acting with each other, kind of what their behavior is, how they swim, what their relative size is, It's more looking at behavior than really much of anything else. And I tried to compare and contrast. Um, I don't know, might have been a complete bum. But I had one woman, a mother, who replied to me who was delighted that her 15-year-old autistic daughter she felt could benefit from that video, could understand it and apply it. So that was gratifying. No, Peplin Nemo won't last long in raw storage. The dentist tank in Finding Nemo, dog-faced puffer, angelfish dotting back, cleaner shrimp, starfish, and striped damselfish. Well done, Blake. Yes, indeed. The movie had that combo of fish. Oh, in the 20 long. Yeah, really. Got it, Cassie B. Yeah, it was a bit overdone, wasn't it? Steven saying, hi, Dirty Platty. I'm just kind of backing up here a little bit. Hi, Dirty Platty. Well, my bet is white face ever color back in after the disease is gone. Oh, dear. I'm just trying to remember. There are a couple of different things. There's lateral Lyme disease, which is different from what you're talking about. Lateral Lyme disease, it occurs in saltwater fish, for example, where from become washed out and white. That doesn't ever come back. Um, if a betta loses its color, I guess it really depends on how and why. If it's sort of not bleached out, but faded out because of malnutrition, that can come back. If it's bleached out and um, the color cells are destroyed, then I don't see how it could come back. So it depends on the nature of the condition, I guess. J-Dog, if the rumors are true, Disney is aware of stuff like this and firing the people behind it. It's hurting them financially. That's interesting. And that certainly would be good to know. Mary Page, where's my Roxanne? No, she's not here, is she? I know. Rach will be able to watch Blake's Aquatics. I got up at 6 o'clock. Actually, I got up at 6. Just as Blake's stream was ending. That was kind of disappointing because I really wanted to catch it. Blake's talking about puffers eating cleaner shrimp. You bet. One Dirty Flatty says it probably rarely happened once the parents learn how much it costs to keep them. No skimmer insight, huh? Lee says, I told you months ago, Disney films are nothing more than horror flicks. I think we got back. I think we did. Let me get back to the bottom. Your thoughts on a rainbow and angel setup? Yeah, my 200-gallon acrylic, which is 4 feet wide and at least 3 feet tall, 2 foot deep, is in has angels and rainbows in it. A few of the fish I do sharks in it, and I'll occasionally do some other um, Central American cichlids in it, some more peaceful stuff. Trying to think what else is in there right now. I had discus in it for a while, and they were okay, but I have a better tank for discus, which coincidentally has angels and rainbows in it. So yeah, I think angels and rainbows mix extremely well in larger community tanks with community tank fish. I think they do very well. I like doing it. D3V is here. Hi there, D3V. Stephen, I didn't do a theory on Finding Nemo, it being a child's movie, and children can go out and buy the stuff and see, and hopefully parents being adults would know better, but maybe not. Well, the second movie, Nemo was one thing. The second movie, when they did the blue tang, that was really problematic because blue tangs are not only much more expensive than Nemos, they're rather delicate. They're highly susceptible to ick. They're highly susceptible to bacterial infection. It takes a bit of effort when you get one to acclimate it, whereas Nemos are, for the most part, tank raised anymore, and they're solid as rocks. They're like a piece of plastic or guppy or whatever. They're very, very stable, solid, easy to care for fish. So that was a transition that I really did not, as a shopkeeper, I did not appreciate because I had children coming in looking to buy a blue tang, the hippo tang, and their parents balked at the price, and I balked at selling it to them. I balked at even buying them because they were expensive for me to buy and difficult to keep. So that was kind of a bummer that they did not really research the fish that they were featuring to see if it was something that would be easily and conveniently adaptable to people's home aquariums. I don't know why those considerations never seem to come up in media events, but they don't. Rohan said some newbies said we can't keep fast and slow fish together because fast ones kill the slower ones due to speed. Well, you can certainly put an angel and a zebra together. The zebra is not going to bump into the angel, at least not deliberately. It's more a matter of quicker fish being more aggressive. It's really an aggression issue and not simply a movement. And I tried to communicate that in the video I did, where I talked about not just the movement, but the intention of the movement, what the fish was actually trying to achieve in its movement. That it was that in the cichlid tank, I compared, they were bumping off against each other. They were kind of going up against each other, chasing each other out of the way, nipping, biting, chasing, that kind of thing. Whereas in the angel tank, they were more flowing together, or the rainbows, more like this kind of thing, a more elegant kind of swimming together. So try to get people to look at that kind of behavior as a way of evaluating fish that they can put together. Oh. Blake is talking about the high rise. Yeah, it's a great tank. The only problem I have with that tank, it's really hard to plant. I can't get down in it. I'd have to stick my head in the water to get my arm down to plant it. And even using tweezers, it's hard to get a heavy plant, a big rooted plant like a big Amazon sword down deep enough. So I resort to putting them in pots. I've got some big planters that I put them in and drop them in there, partly because I rip them out to sell them. But it's a fabulous tank. I've had a couple of customers buy that tank because they liked it so much. Tommy's saying it looks like the fish I want to keep needs a cold period during winter. Well, that should make it easy on you, Tommy. That's great. High Rise is saying Blake saw Blake's Angel in Rainbow setup. Subscribe to him after he was on here the other day. That's fabulous. Rhett's asking how Mary's doing. We're all concerned about you, Mary, and about your family, and praying for you. Misfit, that's how I feel about my 72-gallon. It's 3 foot long, 25 tall, and 18 front to back. Favorite tank, but a serious pain to plant. There is a simple trick to making it easier. If you increase the depth of the substrate, it reduces the distance you got to go down to get to it. Lisa went to PetSmart yesterday and swear the catfish couldn't have been more than a week old. They were so tiny. Went for a filter. Mary, pretty frazzled, but doing okay. With the family. Makes it harder, Rhett. My daughter is so adored it breaks my heart for her. Amen. Amen. Well, she got everybody around her loving her. That's the best any of us can do. Oh, who would like to come up? Let me paste the link here. Anybody'd like to come up is more than welcome to do so. Mary's saying, I'll bet Father Fish has seen a lot of this in his store. What are we referring to? Marine biology misfits. Cassie B. Had to move out some of the fast fish I had because they started to bully the cories after I added them. Generally speaking, new fish bullying is something that should quit very quickly. It's fairly normal for fish that are in a tank to be curious about a new fish being put in. So they're going to go up to it. They're going to maybe poke it some. They may want to achieve dominance. But that behavior should disappear, should abate in a very short period of time. You do have to watch it, because if it's serious aggression where there's biting involved, the fish being bitten can be injured very quickly. Within an hour, it could be dead. So watch it closely. If it's one or two little bumps, maybe you nip and then you move on. That's normal behavior, and that's okay. If it's really aggressive, where they're going back again and again and really beating up on that fish and causing it to cower, causing it to hide in the corner, to go up to the top, then you want to get it out. Don't try taking the bully out at that point if everything in the tank is stable. Take the new fish out. Rearrange everything so that the geography, the topography, if you will, of the tank is changed, is different, and try to reintroduce it again. In other words, get rid of all of the hides and the dens and so forth, and see if that makes a difference. Beyond that, you have to play it by ear. But normal aggression with a new fish is nothing to worry about. If it becomes consistent, persistent, and it's resulting in a fish obviously being beaten up or badgered, then pull it out, because it's going to get killed or be severely injured.
Hey, real quick. Cheapest, I went to 3 different shops. Cheapest, it's going to be $70. And most of them are saying probably over 100.
Saying what?
It's going to be over 100 to fix that.
You're kidding.
They're saying go out and get that.
Wow. What about using, you don't have it here. We have a big vat net that has one end of it's broken off the frame. And Frank just went to some welding shops, 3 of them, and they want $100 to weld it back together. Well, the net's $100, brand new, so it's hardly worth doing that. What about J-Weld? Have you tried it? You don't know what it is?
No, I went across the street. I went to the circus place.
J-Weld is a liquid weld.
That.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
I don't think we have any.
Actually, you know what? I bought some when I went to Home Depot.
See if it's back there. Try it. How long does it take to set up? Just an hour or so?
Right before I can use it. It's right at that back. So that's a spot that's finished.
Suppose we put a piece of metal over it, splice, and J-weld the whole thing. We could even use wire and wrap it on, maybe. Wrap a piece of metal on it, like a splice, and then J-weld that. Maybe a piece of angle iron, since it's on an angle. See if you can find an angle iron, and then wrap it and J-weld it. Let's see if that'll work.
It's JB Weld.
JB Weld, right. Let's get on that and see if we can have it ready. That would be great. If you need to go buy it, I'll give you my card to get some JB Weld. But I think you're right. I know we got angle pieces in the cubby. Just check the cubbies. Okay. Mary Page, I don't know what you're referring to. A lot of this in the store. Quite a conquest. Let's see. Let me back up. It's got a couple of them here. Ah, ah. Lewa, oh, who's this? Jesse. Hi there. Good to
Hey.
see. How are you?
Oh,
Let me
we're
get-
holding on. That's what we're doing. We're holding on.
You're holding on. Where
Yes.
are you, Luke? Are you in the storm track?
Yes, we are in the thick of it right now. It is insane. Like insane. Wind is. I've never seen wind like this ever. I have never seen wind this bad.
Where are you
It's-
located?
Shreveport Bossier.
Oh my goodness, you're right. You really are in the middle of it.
And
Are
well,
you
it's
close?
almost completely to us. So we haven't got the worst of it yet, but we're supposed to, I believe they're saying now that we're going to get the northwest side of the eye, which is not,
Better.
yeah, right, which
Yeah,
is
'cause
not
that's
as bad.
coming all the way around. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So, yeah, let's hope it stays on that track, because if it does, if it gets any worse, we're just gonna have stuff snapping because it's just laying over. I mean, woo.
Wow. Your house okay?
It's standing so far.
Wow, that's scary stuff.
You can just hear it. It sounds like a freight train, like just constant roar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. I've got video for sure. Yeah, I've been up. I stayed up all night, so I've been up all night waiting for it to get here,
Oh
and
my word.
and then now it's here, and now I'm like even more
Yeah,
jittery.
exactly. Wow.
I should have rested when I had the chance.
I'm glad you came on.
Well,
We'll all send you our prayers and best wishes.
yeah, y'all throw me a line to wrap on tight and tie too.
Really, really, you got it. Absolutely. I called Precious Tranquility yesterday. She's in Texas, and she wasn't worried about it. So I guess it's right on that corner, isn't it?
Yeah, it's running up the Louisiana Texas line pretty much.
Yeah, right on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's not a whole lot there, is there? I mean, you're there obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's not like I mean, we have casinos, we've got the riverboats, but we don't have like a huge zoo or anything like that.
We're a big town.
Well, I mean, Shreveport Bossier is pretty big. It's probably equivalent to Dallas.
Really?
Together. Yeah, together.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not as big as like, or not as big as Fort Worth, Dallas. Just Dallas. And if you,
yeah, yeah.
But it's I mean, we have a teeny tiny aquarium, but I mean, I would imagine they'll fare through this pretty fine. So, but this is definitely an experience. I've been through a hurricane, but not one like this.
Frank, a steel rod. What am I thinking about? Concrete rebar. Yeah, piece of rebar. That would probably work. You might have to cut it down or something. I'm sorry. I'm kind of multitasking. Are you okay there? I mean,
yeah. For now, we're okay. As long as they don't start spinning up any tornadoes, we're all right. So
wow.
We're just keeping an eye on the weather, and I have that radar that goes off every time they throw out a new warning. So,
Wow.
so
Well,
we're holding down, hanging on.
goodness sakes, Jesse. Thank you. Boy, we're praying for you.
Yeah, I was worried about my fish because so far we haven't lost electricity, as you can see. There are many that have already lost electricity, but you know, I don't have. Well, I take that back. We went and brought the generator up, and
Did
so
you? Yeah.
if need be, I got extension cords, and I can run extension cords to air. But,
Yeah, unless you've got a tank really crowded,
right.
generally it's not an issue.
Yeah.
You know, the fish can survive without air or light indefinitely, unless you got a lot of fish in there. And a good example of that is umbunas, the African cichlids. If you got a tank full of African cichlids and you run out of air, you need to separate them out because they will not survive.
Really. I'm gonna move my computer and see if I can show y'all the window.
Oh, wow.
Let's see if I can show y'all that
Oh,
behind
my
me.
word. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Nope, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that is. Hang on.
Yeah, we could see it.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what that was.
It stopped
But yeah,
when it came back. Yeah, we can see the bushes.
That bush. I need to go out there. If I need to go cut that limb, I'm scared it's gonna bust my window open.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
I didn't know that it was that bad. Of course, you don't until like this happens. You don't know.
Yeah. I know it. The other thing to watch for is loose screws moving. Like if you've got a metal pole screwed into a concrete and it's loose, it'll keep picking that up and banging it. You need to tighten that screw or it'll pull the whole thing loose.
Yeah, I don't
Anything you hear banging, check on and try to take care of.
Yeah, I did have a welcome board that tried to take off. We caught it or enough.
So long as it didn't go through a window, right?
That's right. That
really,
is so,
really.
Yeah, that's right. But well, I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know we're holding the fort down.
I so appreciate so much you coming in, Jess. Thank you for the update. And do be careful. Take care.
I will.
We're praying for you. Okay. Yes. Thanks again. Bye-bye now.
Right, bye.
Wow. Amazing. That's quite a storm. 170 mile an hour winds up high at the eye as of 1 o'clock last night, 1 o'clock this morning. Wow. Lee's saying, Roxanne, come out and play. We need Lee to come out and play too. We got a few minutes. Let's get Lee in here. Come on, Lee. Come on. Come on over here. Give us what for 5 minutes. Let me get down. I want to get back to aquatic conquests questions. I've still got them up here. We spoke briefly yesterday about blackbeard algae. So today I did an aggressive water change, removed all plants that showed signs of it. Normally remove 8 gallons a week. Today remove 16 gallons. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Put it in here. I want to do a video of it. Let me see. Here, give it to me.
That's not a pretty one.
This is something Frank made up. It's a dirt ice cube. So these are soil ice cubes with fertilizers and stuff in them. So we're going to keep this frozen. we'll haul it out and going to do it as a video. Should be able, yeah, we can just pop one little cube out. We'll try this and see how it works. It might thaw out too quickly, but we'll give it a shot.
Try.
Yeah, put it back in the
We
freezer.
got tongs.
We'll do a video for that. Yeah, tongs would be good. Be better in handling it, probably. Aquatic Conquest. Today I removed nearly 16 gallons, but what I noticed was the growth was all in the area where my light is most intense. Could this be my problem? I think the issue really is nutrients in the water, not light.
It's got algal growth.
He's got blackbeard algae, that little black algae stuff. I think if you can add an inch of sand, it's going to go a long way towards solving the problem. And guess who's here? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh,
Technology is amazing. What happened? Oh, hello.
There, I got him. How are you? I'm happy to see you.
How do I look?
I see that. I see that.
What's up, Chester?
Nice to see you.
Oh, lovely to see you and everyone else as well. It's been lovely.
Yes, indeed.
Really
What's
good
it-
stream.
Yeah. Wonderful stream.
Tell Chester Frank said hi.
Well, Frank said hi.
Hello, Frank.
Yes,
Hey,
he's here.
what's up, mate?
It's cool, mate. How are you?
Fair to Midland, still doing all right, I guess.
He's
You got-
he's holding on.
He's got bad
Holding
back,
on.
yeah?
The last sermon my father ever preached before he was murdered. He preached a sermon about what you do when you come to the end of your rope. He said two things in that sermon. That was one. The other thing he said was he referred to Martin Luther King's sermon, his mountaintop sermon, when he said, I have been to the mountain and I have seen where we are headed. And we are headed to the promised land. My father's congregation were deaf people who could not hear and talk. He said the promised land, and within 10 years of his preaching that, we had built a multi-million-dollar community for that population of people. The other thing he said, when you come to the end of your rope, hold on. I think he said, tie a knot and hold. So that was a long way to get there. But I'm delighted to have you here, Lee.
Thank you. It's lovely to be
You
here.
are an inspiration to our channel. You absolutely are. And to
Really?
everyone on these streams. And I delight in playing your video every day.
Yes, he does.
It is a joy to me. Mary's saying you got to grow your beard back. I see it. It's coming. I can see it.
It's very
It's
slow.
coming.
It's slow. It's coming.
Well, mine's slow. Mine's slow. I think I've had mine, I don't know how long. 3 years, I
Yeah,
think.
you didn't have it when I first met you.
About 3 years. Maybe 3 years. I've trimmed it once or twice. I've stopped trimming it.
You were having trouble earlier brushing it. You thought there was a problem with it. It looks magnificent
It
to
looks
me.
okay now, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it gets holes in it. And I'm OED about it.
It's all those ladies coming up to you
Yeah,
and giving you a tickle, isn't it? It's all
trying to
those
make
ladies.
it's not tickling. It's just trying to get it to look like it's not scraggly.
You look great.
Mary Page says, Frank, how are you doing?
Okay, Mary Page, how are you?
John Cox listening, getting ready for work. Wasn't that an amazing call from the eye of the hurricane?
Yes, it was.
Wow. Wow. 170 mile an hour winds. Just that's just as 1 o'clock this morning. The high winds at the eye were 170.
Oh,
Everything in America is massive. I mean, it seriously is, isn't it? Your skyscrapers, your roads, you can't cross them. Your little back roads are like our motorways, and your weather is massive.
I was in Charlie, in the eye of Charlie for 6.5 minutes.
Frank was saying he was in the eye of Hurricane Charlie for a few minutes.
For 6.5 minutes.
I was in the eye of a hurricane at the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay in a 35-foot schooner.
Oh my God, you're kidding. Was that
In the
Agnes
middle
or
of the night. I don't remember the name of it. It was a hurricane. It was the tail end of it was coming up the coast and met by a low coming down, and they met right there at the mouth of the bay.
Was that like 72, 73, 74, something?
That was 1986,
Oh, no,
87.
I wasn't there.
Along
My dad
in
was
there.
that one. Yeah, he was on the eastern shore when that one came through.
It was all night long, and I was on. There were two of us, so we had to take turns at the till to try to keep this sailboat straight. So I was at the till. I was at the tiller about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I looked up, and there was a wall running far above the mast, and I thought it was a ship that we were about to ram into.
Oh my God.
It was a wave,
Wow.
and it raised us up and dropped us back down in the next valley. It was unbelievable.
Did you get to meet a tin man, a lion, or a scarecrow that night?
Stories, Lee. I love this shit. You got some good stories.
Wow. Did I get to meet the Tin Man Lion or the Scarecrow? Well, I was the Scarecrow. No question.
I bet you were, yeah.
And my captain was the lion until he lost heart. And he lost heart when the governor on the boom quit working, and it began slamming side to side until it broke the yoke. And when that happened, the sail was laying on the deck. So he cranked up the engine, and it was running beautifully until it went. And we looked, and there was a trailing line coming off the sail that had caught on the propeller and was twisting on the propeller.
Oh my God.
So we had to shut the engine off,
Did it shit?
or it would have pulled the shaft out and we'd have sunk.
God.
That was the point where we called the Coast Guard. And the Coast Guard came, they found us, and they said, the other guys that called we can't find. The other ship was lost at sea. There was another boat just like ours that was lost at sea in that identical time frame. They found us and hauled us in to Chesapeake City.
Oh my
Wow.
Hell of a trip. And I was sick as a dog the entire time. Sick as a dog. God, I wanted to die. I was so sick. Dying would have been, I thought about it at one point. I thought, would it be better to drown than to live through this? It was an open question. So, yeah, I met the Tin Man.
Oh my God. That's
Steven.
hilarious. Damn. I was in a bad storm in barge. I was pushing a barge, 94-foot barge across it, and it was listing. It was listing starboard. The water
A
was
barge was listing.
listing
That's
starboard.
That's
Bad
bad
nowhere.
news.
Yeah.
They go under when they do
And
that.
we're pushing with tugboat. We're pinned to it. And if that thing went under, we're following.
You're on.
We're
Well,
following.
J Dog says Mary. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Mary Page has been telling me that her daughter makes beard products, and I've been waiting to get them. And J Dog just said, Mary Page, does your daughter have something for my hole in the beard disease? Precisely. Right.
It's mange. It's called mange.
Mange, right? That's what it is. Yeah, that's what
I
it
don't
is.
think Father Fish has mange.
It's something. I'm here to tell you.
He might have scale, but he doesn't have mange.
Oh, Mary Page said I was pregnant with my daughter when Hurricane Hugo came
I
through
remember
in
you
South Carolina.
Yeah.
My husband was the foreman of the power company, and they were first responders. Wow. Wow. I have enormous respect for those guys. I
They're
try
out
to
in it.
keep a lineman, a friend of the shop. We had a hurricane come through a couple of years ago, and my power went out. And I had a lineman who was a friend of the shop, and he came in to check on me, and I was dead. I'd been out for about an hour. He walked down the street, caught a couple of linemen working, sent them up to reboot my whatever it's called, the big canister thing. They
Transformer.
refused it, and it was back online. With everybody else was out for weeks. So I learned the importance of having a lineman as a friend.
Was he from Wichita?
Ha 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 ha. Funny.
Indeed he was. Indeed he was. You betcha.
Just lineman.
Isabel, might have been Isabel. I don't remember. It just, let's see. That was like when, that was 1990. Had to have been 1990. So what have you been up to, Lee? I loved your video feeding the frogs.
I did it a little bit too early in the day, so it didn't quite pan out as it would normally. Genuinely there would be 6, but I got 2. But it was too early in the day. I was so overzealous. I just thought, I'll do this. It'll be fine.
Do it again.
Yeah, I'll do it again
later.
later in the evening. Yeah, later in the evening.
It's frogs.
Pet frogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see that. That would be great fun.
They're lovely, especially when they actually grab with their arms. If frogs have arms, I think they have arms, and they grab around my finger and really tear at those worms.
Oh, wow.
And their little back legs are going flappy flap. It's brilliant.
That's fun. Well, we saw that with the one. That was really cute.
I scared him. I moved,
Uh,
and he kind of let go. So I didn't get it 100%. But we'll give it another go.
Are they Highlands?
well, Roxanne is here, and she just got tank water in her coffee.
You do that.
She's gonna have to shit later.
Yeah, Frank said I've done it the other way, not that way. I've had coffee to my fish.
Have you ever tried vodka?
Never been
Have you ever tried fish with vodka?
vodka, right?
Yeah, have you tried putting vodka in your fish tank ever?
The pygmies.
Oh, the poison
Tanks. No, aquatic frogs.
Oh,
Aquatic
okay.
frogs, yeah.
Yeah, African dwarf frogs, little
Right.
claw.
They are delightful.
tail.
And
Yeah,
I
they're
can
beautiful.
do frogs. I can do frogs for anybody
Have you
wants to
shown
buy
me
frogs.
about your Highlands?
Everybody get frogs from Father Fish. They're an absolute delight.
You ought to show them. They're beautiful.
Well, I am so excited about Kenny and James and Ed coming here today. They're going to be here right around noon, maybe a little after. They've decided they're going to get licenses, so we're going to take them collecting. So that'll be great fun. and we will videotape that. We'll try to do it live stream. That'd be fun to do. We'll see how it
And
all
they'll be on
works.
the live. They'll be on the live stream later today.
They will indeed.
Right.
Yeah, we'll be
okay.
on at 3 live stream, and I think they're going to want to do a live stream tonight, and we'll do that from here at the shop. So
I'll have to catch them later. Your 3 o'clock is 8 o'clock for me in the evening, and I have to pick Sue up. So I'll probably miss that. I will catch up on it. And if you're doing one tonight, your night, I'll be fast asleep. So I'll catch up with that as well. But I'm looking forward to him. I look forward to it. But I just won't be able to see them live.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, the afternoon, that'd be about 9. You should be able to catch the afternoon then. We'll be sure to do that. D3V, I'm loving the stream. Don't know if everyone is more lively leading up to the weekend or if I'm just perceiving everyone because I'm so excited for the weekend. So D3V, what are you excited about for the weekend? Susan is here, driving up to Tennessee Saturday, and the boys are driving here today. They'll be back in Tennessee Saturday.
They only staying one night?
Yeah, they're staying one night. Sherryfish says Roe is next.
Oh, good.
Hi, Shabby.
Friday.
Oh, the 87 Storm Aquatic. I got trapped. I was driving to work in my old banger of a Chevette, a Vauxhall Chevette, and I was going through the old lanes in Arkley on my way to Barnet, and a tree fell in front of me. So I'm reversing, a tree fell behind me, and I was trapped
Oh my
for
word.
7 hours in the middle of nowhere during that
my
storm.
word.
And the weatherman, was it Michael Fish? He said, "No, there's no storm coming. No, everything's going to be fine." He lost his job. He lost his job. The weatherman.
Wow. Yeah, Aquatic Conquest is talking about that storm. Isn't it amazing? We all have storm stories, don't we?
I was 18 years old.
Wow.
It didn't bother me though, because I'm tough. You know, I didn't.
Yeah, well.
It was
yeah.
a breeze. It was a breeze.
Right.
We're all tough.
So you didn't push the tree out of the way.
Well, it was a big tree. Both of them were big trees.
Didn't play with the board again, did you? Oh, they're talking to Aquatic. And then we got a link for Lee's channel. John's asking for your link.
Don't go there.
It's a fun channel. Fun channel. All right. I think Rose coming on shortly. What time is it? We're at about 10 after. Let me boot you back up here, Lee. Somewhere. Where are you?
And I didn't get put on the naughty step. I made it through a whole few minutes, and I wasn't put on the naughty step.
Amazing.
But I could. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, but don't you dare.
I'm not going to. It's too much for even me. It's about going down, and you can't get up.
Right, exactly. Here we are.
Sort this one out. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about
I hate this.
things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that can be. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Instrumental break.
You know how delicious delicious. That's a perfect size. Uh-oh, there goes Lee. Having a good show today. I think she's right.
Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish.
Goodbye, everybody.
Fish,
Bye, all.
fish.
See you later in the day.
You and me.
Bye
Let's talk
bye.
about all the good things
Bye
and the
bye.
bad things that may be.
Love
Let's
you.
talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Thank you, Lee.
I think that one will do. I'll
Bye,
play that one and I'll
guys.
see what I think. I think it's probably the nuts. And that'll be the one. And you can play around with all of it and decide what you want to do in your production stream for Survival Fish.
Yes, indeed. Bye now.